Do you ever walk into a hotel mock-up room where the headboard doesn't line up with the bedside wall sconce? It's off by 20 mm. You can see it straight away. This mistake doesn't just start showing on site. It has been in the system much earlier. The electrical point was already off. It's different from the grid that was set. And these were never checked together. Now, the headboard is off-centered. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most hotel projects don't fail suddenly. They take time to fall apart. Some changes are easy to accept until they really add up. One room might feel slightly off, but across 200 rooms, it's a big problem. This is the part that most teams miss. Projects don't just fail because the design was bad. They fail because things are checked separately, but not tested together until they are on site. After production, after adjustment, and after site conditions. By the time it shows, the headboard sits off-center, door gaps are uneven, the stone joints don't line up at all. One room might look like a mistake, but across floors, it becomes rework that urgently needs to be fixed. I'm Helen. In this video, I will show you 3 places where problems start and what to check before things turn into project battle with delay and rework on site. Many teams think approval is the hardest part. Design drawings are signed, budgets are fixed, suppliers are appointed. What could go wrong? The project looks structured, but no prototype has been tested together yet. Approval does not secure quality production. The real risk sits between stages, between design drawings and shop drawings interpretation, and between one control sample and repeated production for 200 rooms. On the vendor evaluation report, everything looks considered. On site, different parts meet for the first time. That's when problems appear. A hotel room is not just a design. It's a system that coordinates all the parts that must work together. There are case goods, stone, millwork, upholstery, and lighting. Each is made separately by specialized factories. In most projects, they are built from different parts of the world. Case goods in Guangdong, upholstery from Vietnam, stones from India, metalwork from Fushan, and lighting from Shenzhen. Each manufacturer can be good, but good parts do not guarantee that they will fit together, because the connection between them is often reviewed separately. Once the project has adjustments or timelines get compressed. That process is what we call verification. This is where project sees real challenges. If verification is only checked at the package level, but not across the full assembly, the problem is already in the room. So where do problems start in the process? They often start from one assumption, that everything will fall into place as tested on paper, on drawings, on rendered models. The headboard aligns with the ceiling, switches align with the bedside console, panels align with the pendants. But on real site, nothing lines up perfectly. Walls shift, floors slope, and surface shafts don't always land where you expect them. A pipe runs 30 mm lower than drawing. A wall tilts 10 mm across 2.5 meters. If these are not cross-checked together before production, the project will start drifting. By the time you see it, it's already too much to fix. What actually happened in the factory? Factories don't build concepts. They build physical objects with materials. Materials come with tolerance. Timber expands with different humidity. Stone varies in thickness. Metal bends during welding. And fabric compresses under weight. Each variation is small, but altogether they add up. A drawer panel shifts 3 mm, a decorative wall shifts 2 mm, a hinge adds another 2 mm. Now, with all the build-up, wardrobe doors rub, lights no longer sit centered. The stone joints open, and headboard misalignment. That's not because the design was wrong, but because it was never tested against actual build. Secondly, the cross-border production. Most hotels are not built in one place. They are split across different factories. One factory makes the wardrobes, another makes upholstered furniture, and others supply lighting fixtures. Each production works differently with different machines and different standards. One factory produces a 5 mm edge radius, and another produces 3 mm. On paper, that might look acceptable, but on site, it became a very visible disaster. The edges are not aligned, gaps appear, and lines don't match anymore. A decorative light sits slightly off the panel, with a gap misses by 5 mm. These problems only show up when everything arrives on site and has to fit together. That's when the problem becomes so real. This is the part that most teams miss. Problems don't start on site. They are already built into earlier decisions. Thirdly is the separated procurement scope. Hotel projects are split across roles. Designers define the layout. Procurement selects suppliers, and contractor install on site. Each step is monitored and signed off. But the connection between these steps is often checked separately. Once project timelines change, adjustments are made. A supplier changes material to reduce cost. Thickness drops by 5 mm. On site, the contractor shifts the wall to fit the pipes behind. Now the cabinet depth is wrong. It pushes out by 20 mm. The alignment with the wall panel is lost. Individually, nothing is wrong. Together, things don't fit anymore. On site, everything has to connect. That's when things clash. The bedside light doesn't sit over the nightstand. The wardrobe door hits the curtain track. Built-in cabinets are pushed out because of the surfaces behind. Then the site team steps in to make adjustments, cutting, shimming, and patching to get things to fit. They don't solve any problems. The problem was already set much earlier, when every step was checked separately. So, what does verification actually mean? Verification is not just reviewing drawings. It's checking if things will actually fit across 3 layers: the factory capability, material tolerance, and the site condition. You should be thinking, can this be repeated 200 times the same way? Have you allowed for movement and variation? Or will this still fit on an uneven wall with real surfaces installed? If these are not checked together, problems are already in the project waiting to explode. What I see across projects actually follows the same pattern. Early on, everything looks smooth. The design is complete, procurement looks organized, schedules look realistic. Then the execution begins. The joineries get reworked, stones get recut, and surface pipes clash with furniture. The site team adjusts everything. The opening dates get delayed. By then, it's too late. The problem has already started earlier on. The key here is not whether the design is correct. The real thinking is, has it been tested in reality? Because problems always show up when drawings meet the factory capability, material tolerance, and site conditions. If these are not aligned, the problem is always there. So next time when you sit in a project meeting, don't just look at the drawings. Ask one question, whether it's been cross-checked or signed off. Not approval, but actually check from drawings to factory to site. Once that becomes visible, most of the rework can be prevented before the installation starts. I translate hotel design into real-world execution, where installation starts to drift apart between drawings, production, and site. If you are in the middle of a project and something feels off, it is usually in that gap. Next week, we will look at why good FF&E specifications still fail on site. A specification can look correct, but fail the real conditions. That's where problems begin. Even when everything looks right on paper, a hotel room is not decoration. It's an operation system that you and me can learn. I'm Helen Sui. This is Hotel Story Asia.